Happy Halloween. To celebrate, we're going to do a roundup of some of the best Challenger monsters of 2024. And as a homage to one of cinema's greatest monsters and one of book publishing's greatest dust jackets, I have worn my shark-coloured shirt. So what do we mean by Challenger monsters? Challengers are defined by their desire to challenge some form of the status quo. And fundamentally, when you boil it down, that's all monsters really are. Monsters are a manifestation of some form of society status quo that threatens all of us. Whether that's Frankenstein and sort of science gone bad, whether that's zombies and sort of crass consumerism, or whether that's Jaws and sharks. And that's really what monsters do. Monsters make stories more interesting. As John le Carré said, the cat sat on the mat isn't a story. The cat sat on the dog's mat is. And we think too many brands are telling cat stories. And what Challenger thinking helps us do is tell a cat and dog story. We want all brands to be a bit more dog. So, 5 of the most interesting challengers from 2024. In number 5 position, we have Nationwide. So Nationwide are a UK bank, and you might expect them to be trading sort of feature to feature, service to service, offer to offer against their competition. But by doing so, they've probably just got lost in the noise of the category. Instead, what they've done is they've not so subtly depositioned their competition by personifying all of the negative attributes that people sort of perceive about the banking category in the form of Dominic West's brilliant banker character.
So we've got a series of slides on this, sir. So
this is so boring.
14B on slide 76.
Should I come back?
And I'm very busy.
Still there?
Insurance analysts?
Worse, marketing.
Ooh.
And by doing so, what they've done is they've created a really clear criteria of choice. You can go with more of the same, sort of the big bad incumbency of the category, or you can go with Nationwide, who are sort of pioneering a more human approach to banking. In number 4, we have Walmart. You might not be surprised to find a brand like Walmart talking about the sustainable credentials of their product, but that would have been part of the problem. The expected would have gone on potentially to become quite dull. Instead, what they've done is they've lent into a quality of the competitive set, synthetic, and used that as a starting point for a really interesting campaign about sort of synthetic zombies everywhere. In number 3, we have Virgin Active, brilliantly illustrating that your monster doesn't actually need to be a personification of something at all. Much like an M. Night Shyamalan film, it can be an amorphous quality of the competitive set. Virgin Active are calling out the sort of toxic, faddy trends within their wider category and around health in general, and invited their audience to join them in a crusade to help defeat that monster together. In number 2, we have Dove. Dove have been challenging their monster of the unrealistic expectations of beauty in their category for nearly 2 decades. And like any good franchise, their monster continuously evolves and comes back for each new generation. The most recent manifestation of this monster has been AI, and the AI is used in marketing, creating hyper unrealistic expectations of beauty in the category. And they have pledged to avoid using any AI in all of their marketing in the upcoming years. And finally, at number 1, we have IKEA, beautifully demonstrating that monsters don't need to be big and scary to still threaten us. IKEA are all about the wonderful everyday. And if you're going to be about the wonderful everyday, the things that might get in the way of it aren't necessarily going to be big or dramatic. They're going to be those little everyday things. And their most recent campaign, talking about energy drain, is just a beautiful example of this put into practice. So a lesson for all of us, your monster can manifest in way big to small, and it'll still make whatever you're doing far more interesting and compelling. So when it comes to thinking about how we can make our marketing and our brands a bit less dull and a bit more interesting, we can all learn from a challenger mindset and adopt a little bit more of a monster into our narrative to help make them stand out. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Challenge Spotlight. We look forward to seeing you next month. Good. Oh, gosh.